They're definitely not my cup of tea. So Tesla, be careful of a bounce. So Tesla, we've been in this. This is just gorgeous, right? So gorgeous Morningstar reversal. I said, as long as it doesn't get back above 312, which was monthly. And then it not only followed through by breaking back down to this 265, but the bounce was perfectly rejected at 288. Then it gapped down. Then it consolidated sideways right on that kind of 216 monthly. And then it came right back down to 167.5. That is my price target. So be careful. Like if you're trend short, you're fine. Okay. But if you're swing short, what happened? It went to 216 and then let me just do it over here. Where's 216? Okay. Look at this 216. It then did this kind of thing, right? So it could be a month before while it wears you out kind of thing. It could bounce sharply. It could slice right heck through it. But oftentimes when it comes into a price target, it tends to digest. And that means it's a theta decay killer. So just be careful on that. I really like this short big picture. You know that. But, and by the way, this gap down is the kiss of death on a weekly. Morningstar, I mean, this was perfect. This was a perfect. But once it got here, it had earnings, right? And IV gets really expensive. Then you have no edge. And then it has to get through it, earnings. And then it continues to fall. Here we are. Just be careful. They could start to cover on that level. Okay. Right. By the way, if you are continued trend short, we've already hit from this little drama here. We've taken out the 38.2. That happens to be the 200 week. We've taken out the 50%. The 61.8 fib retracement is 166. The quarterly is 167.49. So we need to break that 166. And I mean, like literally yesterday we tagged, today we're sitting on it. But if you're going to hold, your next level is 146. Let's just, even it out. I still think this goes lower, but the question is how much time you have on your options. 166 is your next price target for a continuation short to about, 160. Nice round figure. Tesla's already at 169, sitting right there, like perfectly poised. Tesla bounced right at that 61.8 fib level, exactly 166 as called, like exactly. Look at that. And Tesla doesn't. Tesla is very weak, but it got an upgrade today to 176. And check out what happened as a result, right? This beautiful 167.5, I said, was support. We hit literally, whether it be 167.5 or the fib level of 166, we hit it beautifully by 1 penny. 166.19 was the fib level. Yesterday we hit 166.18, and I said, be careful. Wouldn't surprise me if this bounces here. So then it got an upgrade this morning, and it's at 176. That's a $10 bounce. That. But not this morning. This morning we got Tesla with an upgrade to 176. It's already basically tagged pre-market 175. And they're going to be, that's it. Some of this is technical. Some of this is really an exercise in patience. A lot of gaps and then fades. We've had that a lot, or a lot of fades. And then they explode higher. So this morning looks more like a gap and fade. Let's see. Tesla getting up here to probably 176, 178, which is that Bollinger Band. And then it looks like it would be another nice fade again. Oh, there was a quote. It was interesting. Bill Gross, no particular reason why this came up in my timeline. But I asked Craig about this. Right, the 10-year tip break even yield at 230 should be closer to 300. Switch any treasuries you own into tips. Okay, so that's Bill's opinion. Mine was simply finding out if Craig agreed. And he said, I think he's right. Long-term inflation should be priced way higher than 2.3%. Many structural inflation forces now, from globalization to demographics, hurting labor supply to higher commodity prices, which all serve to offset technology, productivity, deflationary forces, which was my entire thesis, right? Wage inflation over productivity. When I wrote deflation of wages ended with COVID, that October 2021 piece. All right, so this is basically, the reason why I asked is because I have been watching this pattern in tips, and it looks like it's about ready to explode higher. So that's basically why I asked him that. And the same thing with the market. The market is moving higher as the dollar moves lower. We're just getting into this resistance level. Once we get there, if we jump above, we're going to go above that 41.30. Otherwise, I think we're going to get rejected and roll over. Okay, so we'll have to see how that turns out. The chart went bye-bye. All right, the biggest interest, obviously, for anyone who's chasing since last week on my Tesla call is doing really well. So I was very, very strong in my assertion that we would have a bounce here on this 167.5, which has been here forever, and literally on September 30th, 2020. And we hit 166.18, which I also said was the same thing as this fib level, 61.8 at 166.19. I said, expect a bounce. So if you're short, expect a bounce, and then we got to retest and roll over again. This can go as high as easily 186.75, and then the 21 day moving average is about 195. Here we are this morning, right? We gapped up, we moved higher into that little red line, which I said was important. And we're just going to kind of surf around here. Above, you can see 189. And let's call it 190 to 194. So above 186, you can see 189, 190 to 194. I still think it's going to get rejected there and roll back over because this is just too much resistance. But for right now, hopefully that's been helpful. 6 million calls came in. So Tesla leads with bullish calls. Very, 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 very quiet day.